I'll tell you a tale of mystery and meaning, and ask only that you listen with keen awareness and form the words that I say into pictures in your mind with vivid imagination. This way, your intellect will be able to understand and your heart fully experience. Let us travel in the mists of time back to Tudor England, to a place of nature and beauty. Here, a nobleman, a great and powerful lord, rides through his own woodlands. He's accompanied by two other friends, also of rank and opulence, which he wishes to entertain. And of course, he's accompanied by many who serve him. Some who protect, some who wait upon him, and two foresters to make sure that their ride is safe. During their journey, the foresters point out places of beauty, plants of value and interest, objects of value or peculiarity, all on the Lord's land. The aim is to impress, and the Lord very much enjoys being a host and often adds his own insights and observations loudly as they continue on their ride. Now, the group comes to an area within the woodland which is wet and marshy. So the elder forester, he makes sure that the horses move into single file, and he guides where they traverse so that their hooves always strike on solid ground. During this time of slow progress, the party spies a young stag of great beauty and majesty caught in the mud. The stag's behind legs have sunk deep into the mud, and he struggles to get free. He's obviously tired by a long attempt to escape. But it is clear that the stag is something very special. His colours are bright, his eyes sparkle, his horns strong and impressive. The Lord looks at the stag as potential prey, as a trophy, as something else to impress, something else to own. And he draws his bow. He remarks to his friends that he intends to kill the stag in one shot And this is good hunting. The young apprentice forester is moved by this scene. Something feels very special about that stag. And anyway, this isn't a fair sport. How can it be honourable to shoot a prone prey like this? How can someone take pride and call this a hunt? It just seems wrong to him. The Lord takes aim and starts to draw his bow, but the young apprentice forester knows he has to do something and takes the opportunity to knock his lord and master so that his aim is put off. The arrow flies and lands at the feet of the deer before them. Seeing the projectile so close, the great beast takes to flight and finds the strength to get free, strength found in fear that couldn't be found in persistence, pulls itself from the mud and is gone. The Lord is furious. He feels humiliated. He feels disobeyed and betrayed. And he turns, and in a moment of wrath, he says to the young woodman, "You have taken away my sport, and thus you must be sport," and knocks him from his horse. The intention is clear. And now the noblemen intend to hunt the boy. And those men-at-arms that protect the Lord jeer in excitement at the prospect. Such is their thirst for blood. It takes a few moments for the young boy to realise the true nature of his predicament. But as soon as he does, he starts to run. Swift-footed, he ran as fast as he could, and with a speed that only someone who had been brought up in the woods could muster. He made sure his feet landed where hooves never wished to. He darted back and forth, doubling back, hiding, and acting in such a way as to confuse those that would pursue him. But they were many, and both the riders and the horses were experienced in hunting in woodland. For this reason, often one horse or another would be within his sight, and he had to test his body to the limits of exhaustion again and again. Finally, as the night started to fall, he got to a distance where he could no longer hear the jeers and shouts of those who would seek to slay him. And when finally he felt he'd made enough distance, he settled, exhausted, under a sycamore tree. As he lay there, his tiredness brought on a form of stupor. In a state of despair, not knowing where he'd go or what he'd do in the future, he fell into a waking sleep. As he stared up at the stars, something special seemed to happen. They seemed brighter than usual. And nothing but the night sky existed in that moment. The constellations seemed to start to mingle, and a form appeared before him. In the sky was the stag which he had managed to save so early on. There were no more stars now, only the stag formed of stars. And a voice came from this image, not in sound, but in thought. A voice that boomed within the young forester's mind. I am the Lord of nature and the King of the stars. Because your heroic actions saved me in material form, I will grant you a gift as reward. Are you the King of the Fairies? The master of the wild hunt? Is that the spirit that shines before me? Asked our hero. Humans have many names, but I am beyond them all. Choose whichever term you prefer, but make sure your words have resonance worthy of the recipient. Oh, great spirit, if you're the being I believe you are, then I know which gift to ask for, and hope that you deem to bestow it. It is said that the King of the Fairies can teach the arts of sorcery and magic, and can bestow great empowerment and wisdom in a way that no mortal teacher could. Please, I ask, take me as your humble apprentice. You ask for a curse in return for a blessing. I don't understand. I will teach you the whole secrets of magic. Listen and focus firmly on my image. Learn to see the invisible and change the unchangeable. Oh, great teacher, you talk in riddles and jests like fairies are wont to do with us mortals. These words have no meaning. Please understand, I need you to talk in plain language. It is humans, not fairies, that deal in half-truths and lies. These words are too true and simple for you to understand. The whole secret of the magical arts is contained within these words. True magic, you see, is the art of clear perception of the forces that underpin the whole of your existence. And once clear vision of these forces is gained, you can learn to guide and direct them so that they obey your will. Oh, great teacher, I understand. So I am to learn to see the very magical forces that guide in a hidden way. Yes, and this is what it means to see the invisible. And then, if I am able to see these forces, I might guide them, and this is true magic. This is correct. So how do I learn to see these forces? How do I learn to have this direct perception? To undertake this path, you must take a vow of silence and dedication. You must withdraw from worldly goals so that your mind is clear and you can dedicate yourself fully to seeing the truth. Be silent and spend time alone in nature. Then, in this solitude, start to reach forth with your mind beyond the material things you see. Start with things which are still. Stones, trees, places. Reach within them as you would reach within your own mind, as if searching for an idea, a memory, or an inspiration. In this quiet persistence, start to find how to see things of the mind that only the mind can see. Oh, teacher, I understand. There are great books which talk of the energies and how some stones are sacred to some of them, and how there are energies within trees. Will these teach me the way? No more books. No more stories. No more echoes. You must learn to perceive directly. Research only with your mind. As you start to be able to find oneness with the stones, with the wood, with plants, start to extend your mind to things which move. The flow of the stream, the flicker of the flame, the passions and actions of animals and people. Reach beyond them and find what is common. See the very forces which connect the all. And when you start to find these forces within yourself, and you see the same flow within your dreams as you do in the brooks and rivers, when you see the same heat within your passions as you do within the flames and the lightning, then start to sit beneath the stars. Allow the energies to shine within you, to breathe them in, to gather them within your soul. Only this way, with a persistent dedication, will you reach with success. Oh, Master, your words are beautiful, true and simple. Why do so few mortals ever do such a thing? Many people seek the magical arts, but equally so, they create confusions, barriers to prevent leaving worldly goals. They wish to stay within the world, and thus their dreams of attainment float away. But Master, if this blessing comes to fruition, if I see these forces, how then can I work magic and direct them? To master the forces without, first master them within. You will find the number of energies within nature are matched within your own soul. Guide your thoughts. Pour all your passions into line as you would dream to be able to direct the very forces of nature. Direct your own nature. Master all the challenges of life. Practice those things you find hardest. Make sure whatever you say, eat, or do is fully under your control. Learn to impress your will upon the very energies of your mind. As men whisper to themselves as a means to guide their thoughts, learn to use your words to guide your mind with mastery. As men use images in their imagination to bring motivation. Form these images with great power to express your will. And just as those through great impulse achieve dignity and heroism, learn to use the great impulses and ambitions of your will to your own ends. Make goodness, justice and kindness the guides of all your actions. And as you learn to master the forces within, you will gain mastery of them without. But teacher, when I have mastered my own mind, the magical energies within me, how then do I use these skills to guide the forces of nature, the elements and the planets around me? Know that the whisperings to the mind, which you use to guide your thoughts, are but the incantations of magic. Know that the images within are truly the talismans of man. The powerful impulses of will and the great dedications that you have mastered within yourself must simply be directed into the very forces themselves. Put your words within them. Make your images become strong. Guide the thoughts which are in the mind of all, as you did the thoughts of your own. Practice with small things. Observe intently, finding and extending the limits of your power. Oh, Master, this is a great blessing. Now I can see the way before me, the path of perception and control. But you said that this would be a curse, but it seems to me a great gift. When I first spoke, these secrets were a confusing riddle. Do you remember this? I do, I remember. And now you have become the truth. You may become the confusing riddle to your fellow man. So you must be aware. Protect yourself with silence. Seek out those who are also on the path, and look to the stars for assistance. When you have mastered these two great steps, I will return, and with me will come allies from the shapes within the stars who are here to assist those of genuine calling. O great teacher, I await your return.